Hey Yankees fans, let's talk about what's going on with the team right now, because there's been a lot of chatter about Brian Cashman being frozen in the offseason, and honestly, I get why people are feeling that. Some fans are starting to wonder if the Yankees are just standing still, not making any moves, and it's easy to see where that frustration comes from. But here's my take. I actually think Cashman is playing the long game, and maybe he's just working behind the scenes on something big. Picture it like this. It's almost the holidays, and while everyone else is rushing to make trades, Cashman might be quietly plotting a major move, just like Santa planning his route on Christmas Eve. There's still time, and the team knows they need to improve for the upcoming season. The Yankees aren't the kind of organization to just sit idle, especially when the competition is heating up. The Red Sox, the Blue Jays, and even the Orioles have been strengthening their rosters this offseason, so the Yankees have to respond. If you look back at last year, after losing Juan Soto, the Yankees didn't sit around feeling sorry for themselves. They made moves. They added Max Fried, Cody Bellinger, Paul Goldschmidt, and Devin Williams. Those weren't small acquisitions. They knew they had to adapt and improve, and I think we're going to see something similar happen this year. Cashman understands that, and even if fans are feeling impatient, it doesn't mean nothing is happening. It's all about timing, strategy, and waiting for the right deal to present itself. And yes, I know it can be frustrating to see little activity on the surface, but that doesn't tell the whole story. The Yankees are always looking for the right opportunities, and I have a strong feeling that a major trade is on the horizon. Now, let's get into some specifics because there are two young players everyone's talking about, Jason Dominguez and Spencer Jones. These guys are central to what might happen next. The Yankees have talent, no question, but they also need flexibility, especially if they plan to retain or bring in other key players like Cody Bellinger or potentially Kyle Tucker. That means one of these two young stars might be the centerpiece of a significant trade. Personally, I don't think they're going to move both. That would be too risky. Keeping one of them gives the team insurance if other plans don't pan out, particularly with players like Trent Grisham on shorter contracts. Losing both would leave a gap that's hard to fill. So the smart play is to leverage one, not both. Talking about Dominguez, last year was a mixed bag for him. He showed flashes of brilliance, but also had some struggles, especially in the outfield. Offensively, he had moments that reminded everyone of his potential. Against right-handed pitching, he performed quite well, with a solid OPS and notable contributions late in the season and even in the playoffs. That said, he still has areas to refine, and his time in the Winter League is part of that development process. Hitting against different pitchers and adapting to new roles is all part of preparing him for consistent Major League success. His ceiling is high, and while it might take time for him to fully translate that potential, the Yankees clearly see the value in nurturing his talent. Dominguez has the tools to be a game-changer once he settles into a rhythm, and the team is making sure he's given every opportunity to grow. Spencer Jones, on the other hand, had a remarkable season last year. Hitting 35 home runs and driving in 80 runs with a strong OPS, he made a statement that caught everyone off guard. His season had peaks and valleys, but the talent and power are undeniable. Like Dominguez, Jones has struggled against left-handed pitching, but his overall performance in the minors and the majors shows that he's capable of being a key contributor. The strikeouts are something to watch, but again, that's part of the learning curve for a young player adjusting to higher levels of competition. His stock is high, and the Yankees are aware of that. The right trade or strategic decision could leverage Jones' potential in a way that strengthens the team even further, either by keeping him in the fold or using him as a critical piece in a larger deal. When you compare their trajectories, it's clear that both players bring significant value, but in different ways. Dominguez has a high offensive upside and has shown he can rise to the occasion against major league pitching, especially on the right side of the plate. Jones brings power and production, with standout moments that proved he could be a game-changer when hot. The Yankees have to weigh not just what they need now, but how these players fit into a long-term vision for competitiveness. One of them may be moved to create flexibility or to acquire a piece that complements the existing roster. Either way, it's clear that the organization is actively strategizing. Now, considering the context of the wider league, it's not just about internal development. The Red Sox, Blue Jays, and Orioles have all been strengthening their teams, and the Yankees have to match that intensity. The offseason isn't just a lull. It's a critical period where positioning and strategy can define the season ahead. Cashman has a history of making smart, sometimes surprising moves, and it's likely that he's already laying the groundwork for something impactful. Fans might feel anxious, but if history is any indicator, the Yankees usually have a plan that unfolds at the right time. That plan often involves calculated risks, strategic trades, and carefully timed acquisitions. The patience might be challenging, but it's all part of building a team that can compete at the highest level. So when people say Cashman is frozen, I see it differently. I think he's in full strategist mode, mapping out moves, assessing talent, and waiting for the perfect moment to act. The Yankees know that they need to be proactive to maintain their edge. The balance between nurturing young talent and acquiring proven players is delicate, but the front office has shown an ability to navigate that balance effectively in the past. With players like Dominguez and Jones in the mix, the team has options and leverage. The moves they make in the coming weeks will be telling, but one thing is clear. The Yankees are far from stagnant. Dominguez's development, Jones' breakout, the potential trades, and the need to stay competitive all point to a dynamic offseason ahead. It's not just about what's visible on the surface. It's about positioning for 2026 and beyond. The organization is evaluating, testing, and preparing. This period of apparent quiet is actually full of strategy and preparation, setting the stage for the next big move. Fans should keep watching closely because the next announcement could be a game changer, shifting the balance of the roster and setting the tone for the season to come. Continuing with the Yankees situation, let's dig deeper into what the next few months might look like and how the team could shape up for the upcoming season. One of the biggest questions lingering over the franchise is how they balance developing their young talent with making immediate improvements through trades or free agent signings. Jason Dominguez and Spencer Jones are central to this conversation, and their futures will likely dictate the tone of the offseason. The organization has to carefully weigh how much potential they're willing to leverage for immediate gains versus long-term development. It's a classic front office dilemma, and the Yankees have historically approached it with patience and precision, knowing that rushing a decision can lead to mistakes that ripple through multiple seasons. Looking at Dominguez first, it's clear that his offensive tools are impressive. He has a smooth swing, good plate discipline in key situations, and the ability to generate power on the right side of the plate. His struggles against left-handed pitching are concerning, but they are not uncommon for a young player making the jump to the majors. He's still very early in his career, and with proper coaching and adjustments, those issues can be minimized. The Yankees have shown faith in him, allowing him to continue developing even if it means playing in less-than-ideal situations at times. His performance in September, including the playoff moment where he drove in a key double, illustrates his potential when he's locked in. That kind of performance is exactly what makes him tradable if the Yankees decide they need a big piece, but it also shows why they might want to hold on to him. Spencer Jones presents a different profile. He's a power hitter with a proven ability to produce runs, but his high strikeout numbers are a red flag. 35 home runs and an OPS over 900 in the minors is extraordinary, but translating that consistency to the majors is always a challenge. He showed that he can hit the long ball and make an impact, yet adjustments are still needed against certain types of pitchers. His minor league struggles against left-handed pitching highlight the work ahead, but his potential upside keeps his stock high. The Yankees could use him as a cornerstone in a trade or retain him as a high-upside bat in their lineup. Either path has pros and cons, and the decision will likely hinge on how aggressively the front office wants to improve the team immediately. The context of the league adds another layer of urgency. The Red Sox are building depth, the Blue Jays are adding star power, and the Orioles are quietly becoming more competitive. The Yankees cannot rely solely on internal growth to keep pace. They have to be proactive and aggressive in seeking improvements. That's where strategic trades or signings come into play. Retaining players like Cody Bellinger or bringing in someone like Kyle Tucker could shift the balance and make certain prospects expendable. The front office has to be nimble, ready to pull the trigger when the right opportunity arises, and that may mean sending one of their young stars to another team to acquire the missing piece. One interesting aspect is how these decisions impact the clubhouse and team chemistry. Both Dominguez and Jones are young, talented players who have already shown flashes of brilliance. Trading one could have ripple effects, not just on the field, but in terms of team morale and the development of other prospects. The Yankees are very aware of this, which is why any move will likely be calculated and deliberate. They want to improve, but they also want to maintain a positive environment for growth. It's a delicate balance, and it highlights the complexity of managing a team at this level. Let's consider the potential trade scenarios. If the Yankees move Dominguez, they might target a proven major league contributor who can fill an immediate need. This could be a starting pitcher, a high-impact hitter, or a versatile position player who strengthens the lineup. Trading Jones could similarly net a high-value piece, but the risk is slightly different due to his strikeout tendencies and adjustment period in the majors. Each move carries risk, but the front office has experience mitigating that risk through careful evaluation and timing. The timing of these decisions is crucial. Make a move too early, and the market could undervalue a player. Wait too long, and the opportunity could pass. The Yankees have to find that sweet spot, which is why it often seems like nothing is happening, even when everything is in motion behind the scenes. The development of other young players also factors into the decision-making process. Players like Trent Grisham, who are on short-term contracts, create a sense of urgency to either complement them with other talent or hedge against potential underperformance. Having depth and flexibility is critical. That's why one of the prospects might be used as trade leverage rather than being kept on the roster. It's about optimizing resources, maximizing the team's competitive window, and preparing for a season where every move counts. Now, looking at the performance data more closely, we can see that both Dominguez and Jones have metrics that suggest they can succeed, but the translation from minors to majors is never guaranteed. Dominguez's OPS against right-handed pitching in the majors was comparable to top prospects historically, which is encouraging. Jones' power numbers are undeniable, but his strikeouts highlight an area for improvement. The Yankees' development staff has to focus on refining these skills while balancing the pressure to win now. That dual focus is one of the defining challenges of building a championship-caliber team. Even with all these considerations, the Yankees' strategy seems to be about patience, timing, and maximizing value. They aren't a team to panic or make rush decisions. Cashman has a track record of pulling off unexpected deals at just the right moment. Fans might feel anxious watching the early stages of the offseason, but history tells us that the right moves often come when they're least expected but most impactful. That's why the chatter about being frozen doesn't quite capture the reality. There's a lot happening behind the scenes, from scouting reports to internal evaluations, and from discussions about trades to potential signings. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. Shockwaves are rippling through the baseball world after whispers began circulating in clubhouses, front offices, and television studios. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and the New York Yankees may already be bound by a stunning agreement. According to growing speculation amplified by major sports media, the slugger's future could be heading to the Bronx in what would be one of the most unexpected moves in recent memory. While official details remain closely guarded, the mere suggestion of Guerrero Jr. wearing pinstripes has ignited intense debate and fascination across the league. Sources familiar with the situation suggest that discussions have been taking place quietly, far from the public eye, with both sides motivated by timing and ambition. For the Yankees, the appeal is obvious. Guerrero Jr. represents a rare blend of power, youth, and star presence, a player capable of redefining the heart of any lineup and becoming the face of the franchise for years. Pairing his bat with the Yankees' relentless pursuit of championships feels, to many insiders, like a calculated move designed to shift the balance of power in the American League. From Guerrero Jr.'s perspective, The rumors point to a desire for a bigger stage and a legacy-defining challenge. The Yankees offer global exposure, constant pressure, and the promise that every at-bat matters in the race for history. Some around the league believe this potential agreement reflects a mutual understanding. Talent meets tradition, ambition meets opportunity. Still, skepticism remains. Until contracts are unveiled and press conferences held, this story lives in the gray zone between confirmation and conjecture. Yet the fact that respected voices are echoing the same narrative has given the rumor unusual weight. Fans are left to imagine towering home runs disappearing into the night at Yankee Stadium, while rivals brace for the possibility that a generational hitter has just joined baseball's most storied brand. Whether this speculation proves fully accurate or not, one thing is certain. The idea alone has already altered the conversation around the sport. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.